go. Fire it up, baby.
It's a new day. Yes, it is here. You called peeing your pants to get started. It's a first that you want to go early instead of being late or forgetting altogether.
I got stories upon stories. This may be the best podcast we ever have.
You just mushed it for sure, but
right.
let's go with that.
Well, I want to tell you, I got to start off firsthand here. What just happened to me? This literally, it's breaking news.
Hot news.
It just happened. Hot news off the press.
Off the press.
You ready for this?
I'm ready, baby. So
I'm at Nick's basketball game, and I filmed the JV game. You know, I'm loudmouth as usual. Everybody knows who I am because we're away. We're at a school that's like 10 minutes down the road. One of our rivals. So I filmed the game. We lose again because that's just what we know how to do is lose. And the game is over, and now the girls' game goes, and then boys' varsity. So I have about an hour and 15 in between, so I have to film the next game because I don't film the girls' game. They have their own cameraman. So I said, okay. I go to the door, and there's this kid sitting there with he's got on like a jacket and a mask. His mask and his jacket have like some college, what do you call it, fraternity shit all over it?
Yeah, fraternity.
So
like
you're a fucking loser if you're wearing that in general out, like in public.
Greek letters.
The jacket and the mask. Right, the jacket and the mask. Like, I don't, like, what do you, like, come on, you're a loser. So I say to him, hey man, can I leave and come back? And I asked because there is a sign up that says no re-entry, and I wanted to make sure. He dead serious looks at me and goes, no, you can't. I said, I'm going to ask you again. Can I leave and come back? And he said, no smile, nothing, goes, no, you can't. Now, there's a man trying to pay to come in. And I say, are you fucking with me or are you serious? That's what I said to him. And I curse a lot. If you guys, like, if anybody doesn't know me, I curse a lot. That's just how I was raised. Whatever. Suck it if you don't like it. So he looks at me and he goes, I'm not kidding. You can't come back. And I said, why? He's like, oh, it's COVID protocol. I said, am I going to go get the COVID and bring it back with me? I'm confused. Like, I'm here now. What would be the difference if I ran outside to go get a Starbucks down the street and came back? And he's like, you can't come back. So I go inside. Sorry. First I said, I'm a grown-ass man. You're telling me I can't go back? And he said, no. So I go inside, I see the athletic director, and I said, hey, can I talk to you for a second? He's like, yeah. I go, am I not allowed to leave and come back? And he just dead silence, stares at me. I'm like, is that a no or yes? I said, look, I'm going to be respectful of you and your school's rules. If it's a no, just say no, we're not allowing it. And that's okay. I'll go sit down. I said, I just want to go to Starbucks. That's 2 minutes down the road. I want to get a coffee, and I want to come back. I said, and quite honestly, I filmed the boys' games, and I really don't want to watch the girls because it's really hard to watch. And he goes, you're the cameraman, right? I said, yeah, man. And Nick trains with that school. He trains with those kids. So, like, they know me, right? Like, and he said, yeah, come on. So we go outside, and he tells the guy, hey, let him go and come back in. And the kid's like, yeah. And I turned to the kid, and I said, do you want anything from Starbucks? And he goes, no. Now he's mad because I won. I won the battle.
So he spites himself and doesn't get a free coffee.
Right.
Because
bro, he could have got a free coffee. He said no.
Because you went over his head. And
you damn right I went over his. I am a 40-year-old fucking man. I can go get a coffee. Like, why should I have to sit there? If you tell me I don't want like, I get it. Like, you don't want the kids going back and forth because they could be going to the car, drinking, smoking weed, whatever. Right. I'm a grown-ass motherfucking man. I can't go get a coffee and I have to sit here and watch. You're already putting me through 2 boys' games that are absolutely horrendous. You're going to make me watch a girls' game too? Like, no. Not happening.
Not only did you go over this guy's head, who was flexing the only little bit of authority he possessed, but then you totally neutered him too. So now he's...
Fuck, I did. He's demasculated. Well, he was demasculated wearing that stupid jacket and mask anyway.
You cucked him real good.
Well, he should have not worn that stupid Greek mask and jacket. It was like a Letterman jacket, and he's like a grown ass man. Like, he's like maybe a college student, not a grown ass man, but still. Right? Like, the fuck. So anyway, I figured I'd come in hot and heavy.
Yeah. So
So now I'm in the Starbucks line.
you're just like
So
the
you're gonna
king of confrontations with
listen. I turned fucking 40 years old yesterday. Now I'm like those old men down in South Florida. I don't care anymore.
yeah.
I've lost my what do you call it? My embarrassment gene. I don't have it anymore. It's gone. It's gone, baby.
The great thing is your kids still have it and
Right.
plenty of it.
Right.
So
Yeah. So
when they're with you
so
in
here
public.
we are. I'm in the Starbucks line, so you'll have to we'll have to take my order. But I think that's a good thing because now everyone knows what I order at Starbucks. So if anybody wants to send me Starbucks ever,
Oh my
they
God.
know what I order.
Why would they send you actual Starbucks or would they send you a gift card?
I mean, it's happened before.
Sent you an actual coffee?
I've had it happen numerous times.
What?
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
I'm not
That's how I
sure.
roll. I had cupcakes delivered to my house yesterday.
Yeah, I heard about that. Jesus.
Yeah, pal.
You
But you know what?
What else did you have delivered to your house?
Balloons.
And
IHOP. I had pancakes, eggs, sausage, and hash browns delivered to my house yesterday
You
for my birthday.
fat fucking pig. You ate all those cupcakes, didn't you?
I didn't. I only had one yesterday.
And you had the other 3 today?
Yeah. No, look, hey, it's a new year for me. I turned 40 yesterday. New me.
Oh.
I'm fasting all day at 6 p.m. All I've had was, this will be my 3rd coffee. I had some sugar-free Gatorade. It's probably why I'm so hyped up because I'm so fucking hungry right now. I'm hangry. Like I am in my bones. I feel it.
Better late than never. I mean, you're starting your year right now. I mean, what are we, 2 weeks in? I mean, you may as well be like on the Jewish calendar or the Chinese calendar. Jesus, dude.
Well, do you want a weight update though?
I think that is the most important thing. Like, that's probably going to be my ammunition for the. I mean, it was embarrassing before when you were like, what, 140, 150? I don't even remember.
1, 2, 1. I wish I was 140. What did you say? 140. I'm 2. I was 2.
That's what I meant.
2.
That's what I meant.
I think you need to eat something.
Hmm?
You need to eat or something. You're all right? You're like a little dizzy over there?
No. Whatever. I always say 1 instead of 2. I don't know why. Wow,
so here's the deal.
Yeah.
You ready?
Because none of us should be over 200 pounds. That's why.
Well, here goes. So I got on the scale this morning. I woke up and I did not feel good. I just feel like shit. All night I felt like shit. Acid reflux was bad. Heartburn, gas. I mean, and I got up this morning and my fingers felt like Vienna sausages and my feet hurt and I got on the scale and I said, today is the fucking day. Because I somehow went from 270 pounds in March of 2020. By October, I was 225-ish, 224.
Right.
And from October to January 12th, I weighed 250 fucking 9 this morning.
Oh
How does that that can't even be healthy for my heart.
No, that is some extreme yo-yo stuff.
Right.
Yeah, you're putting your body into such a stress, such a strain, such a shock.
Yeah.
Good luck with that metabolism. You may have burned it out, buddy.
Well, no, because I will tell you, I had a lot of water today.
Uh-huh.
And just coffee. I've shit my brains out. And
Yeah.
I've peed. You ready for this? I've peed 9 times today.
Yeah.
And I peed. I already feel my stomach isn't as bloated already. It's already not bloated.
Right. Well,
Like,
because
it
you
feels
haven't
like a
eaten
relief already.
But you haven't eaten in a day, so you're yeah.
Well, and here's the thing: when I get home, I won't be home till about 9:30. I have a decision to make. Either I make the steak, mushrooms, and spinach, or I skip it and try to hold off and go do a 24-hour fast.
Oh, who cares? You're not gonna do either.
You're
You're
fat shaming me. Already.
You probably have ice cream in the fridge still.
I do, but I'm not going to eat it.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
staying strong.
maybe not
This is
today,
it.
but we got the
This is
playoffs this weekend. We have
Wings, baby, wings.
we have
Cold cuts.
the Royal Rumble coming up, then the Super Bowl, and then WrestleMania. I feel like I said, I don't think you're gonna be back on track till Easter. I just don't think it's happening.
this is you know what? I'm here to prove you wrong.
Well, that's the idea of the fat shaming. To be honest with you, is to motivate. Now, on my end, it's just to have fun. But you really should take it that way. Everyone should take it that way. To be honest with you, there's nothing wrong with a little fat shaming, as long as you know the person.
Well, you know, I feel that your fat shaming motivates me because it does, because I want to prove you wrong more than I want to actually get skinny.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
I mean, yes, it's always against me. It's like if we were in a competition together, it's to beat me. If it's this, it's to prove me wrong. You know,
right.
Whatever.
I don't care about anybody else. It's about hurting your feelings.
If I have to be your big Disney villain, whatever, man. I'll breathe fire and you can do your thing or not.
Well, I'm on track, so
Yeah.
let's keep it that way.
Yeah, on track for a whole 12 hours. We're really proud of you.
Here we go. This fucking guy.
This is like we should all stand up and clap now. You know, it's like the bravery you're showing. It's like unbuckling your seatbelt after the plane's landed, and before the.
You said unbuckling my seatbelt after the plane has landed.
Yeah, it's very brave of you.
You fucking asshole.
But definitely before the pilot says to do it. So you're really.
I am that guy. Though. I am the guy who unbuckles immediately when we land.
Yeah.
And I take my phone out and I turn it off airplane mode.
It makes sense because you're like 260 pounds. I'd be unbuckling as
breathe.
quick as possible. Did you ever fly where you needed the extension? Were you ever doing it around that 270 mark?
There was a couple times I was close. I was close. I had to take a deep breath in and then get it under the belly.
Oh,
like
my
inside.
God.
Basically, right. So, and I put my pants on this morning, and I'm like, oh fuck, it happened.
No.
I was good until like last week. I went overboard last week.
No wonder you've been working from home so much. You probably only have one pair of pants that fits.
I wore the same pair of jeans all week last week because they're the only ones that fit.
Come on, how well do I know you at this point? Because
way too well. It's kind of creepy, actually.
I'm calling it.
Well,
I'm calling all the shots here.
I know.
Yeah.
This, by the way, this Starbucks line, I've been in line for like 7 minutes already, and I'm not even moving. I should have went inside.
So you've been in that line so long, I forgot you were in the line.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Like, what are they doing?
I'm burning the beans. That's all they do at Starbucks. I hate Starbucks
because I'm so hungry.
Yeah.
Angry.
Well,
angry. I almost want to get a coffee and just bring it back to this kid and be like, here, just to be a dick.
Well,
but get like a black coffee with no cream or sugar.
Well, I mean, you should. Yeah. I don't think doesn't sound like that's what he drinks. He probably drinks one of those.
Right, probably like one of those foo-foo lemonades or something.
Sugary dessert drinks, with lots of whipped cream and.
Well, anyway, I got notes today. I told you, new year, new me. I just started 2 weeks late. That's all.
Yeah. Well, what do you got?
I don't know if I should blow my load all in one shot today.
That's usually what I do.
Yeah, I'm
then
pretty used to that.
I get more sleep that way.
Yeah, I roll over and go to bed right after. No, but so I was talking to our friend Paula this weekend, and
that one.
It sparked a conversation where it actually involved you, and she said that she had gone to an all like Jewish school, and that Ben would be proud. I think that's what she said. Something along. If I'm misquoting, whatever. It's something about Ben and being Jewish, and she went to a Jewish school, and you would like that. I don't know.
Now, can we pause right there and let me just establish something? The only reason I claim to be Jewish is to have the right to do Jewish jokes. I don't believe in that Hebrew wizardry. My parents are Jewish. I guess that makes me Jewish. But I guess I must be playing it up too much because people are like kind of like now lumping me in like kind of like assigning me to this category or thinking of me when they think of like dreidels and potato pancakes and,
and
that might be a problem.
I really do feel like where my story is going. I kind of like I could see you fitting into that with like the little like dread thing, little what do they call them coming down their head and like the
No,
little yarmulke on. You wear like the
never,
big black hat like you're Abe Lincoln, but you're
never.
Jewish.
No, or
No,
like our boy, what's his name? Uh,
Matthias
Matthias
Glass,
Glass, which it was still, I
best
think,
gimmick in wrestling.
the
Right,
best gimmick of wrestling, a Hasidic Jew with an oversized hat.
right. That pissed off Blake because he really wasn't Jewish.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, so the conversation started with that, and I said, well, my neighborhood I grew up in, Boca Raton, had a house that was the biggest house on the block. It was 2 stories. It was down the end of the block, giant house. And the Hasidic Jews, the rabbi, the actual rabbi, like the one for town, his synagogue was over the wall. He bought the house, and all the Hasidics lived in the house at first, and then they started buying other houses in the neighborhood. But it made me think about some of the stories from then that I thought were gold to tell on the podcast. Gold. Gold.
I'm nervously treading the tripwire here because now we're telling Jew stories. But please continue.
No, but they were great people. I'm not like I still talk to one of them. The kid. Now he's like he's younger than me, but he's a grown up. He has a TikTok.
The TikTok rabbi, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, he's got like 5. They got a couple 100,000 followers. But they live in Brooklyn. Anyway, but I thought it was good stories because we always got along, but a couple of things stuck out from that time period. I mean, I was a kid, so maybe you can explain it a little better. So I guess the Hasidics can't use it like electronics or something.
On the Sabbath, which I guess is from
Right.
Friday night till Saturday
Right.
night.
Oh wait, we're up. It's our turn.
Oh my God.
Here it is. You ready? Everybody listen.
Dead
Oh,
air.
no.
Dead air.
Dead air. This is dead air.
Hi, thank you for choosing Starbucks. I'll be right with you, okay?
Oh, okay.
Ah, she put you on hold.
Put me on pause.
Garbage.
Oh,
Yeah.
somebody just yelled at
So,
me.
from sundown to sundown,
Right.
they're not allowed to work, and anything that's classified as work, which also includes like simple things like flipping light switches. Oh, listen.
No, wait. Can I get a grande pike with 5 stevia and heavy cream?
Of course. Did you want that heavy cream steam today?
Oh yeah, let's steam it up.
Get a scone.
That's it.
2 scones.
All right. We'll have it sold to you at the window, okay?
Thanks. He said 2 scones. Don't tempt me with the scones. They're really good.
So,
All right, so go ahead. Tell the story. What is there?
so
I'm not quite sure I understand.
So you're not allowed to like it's on the Sabbath, the Lord rested, so you're supposed to rest on that day, which means you're not supposed to do anything. You're not supposed to do anything that even called work, and they've really that includes like turning things on and off, like TVs and lights and stuff like that. So I know we had a friend, Adam, that he would leave he would make sure the TV was on Fox because he wanted to watch the X-Files, but he couldn't turn it on after sundown because it was on Friday nights.
Wow.
So he would turn the TV on, and then I guess the TV just ran all night until the next day.
See, and that's a smart idea. So what would happen when I lived there when I was a kid? So they would come knock on the door, and they would knock on the door, and one of us would answer the door. It was 4 younger brothers, my mom and dad, and we'd answer the door, and it would be one of either the kids or even like sometimes the rabbi would come himself, and they would knock on the door, and they'd be like, "Can one of you come to the house because we need help with something that we can't do because of the Sabbath?" And we'd always be like, yeah. We'd close the door, and then we'd whoever, like if I was home alone, I would go, but if we were all there, close the door, I'd be like, "I'm not going, you're going." We'd have to pick straws to see who was going. Like whoever gets the shortest straw has to go help the Hasidics out. But let me just tell you something. This neighborhood had 30 houses on the block. They lived the other end. They passed a good 20 houses to get to our house and knock on our door. For some odd reason, they would only come to our house.
You would think that maybe everyone else just pretended they weren't home.
Or my dad, he's like the mayor. He was like the mayor of Boca. So maybe like, my dad would be like, he would talk to them and have like full converse. Like, they were great people. And I think they just felt comfortable with my dad, So
Yeah.
I remember a couple instances going over there where I went in one time. It was dark. And I went in and you like can't see anything in the house. And they can't use their lights or anything. So they just knew with the lights off. They knew like the path from the front door to the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
And they would know it. So they would we'd come in the house pitch black and he would like grab my hand and like guide me. And like the first time I'm like, oh, these Hasidics are like, they're going to either kill me or rape me or something's going on here. Like,
Yeah.
because it's creepy. And he's like grabs your hand. So you're like, and he guides you and he tells you like the light's like right there. And I turned the light on and there was like 30 other Hasidics sitting in the room. I turned it on. I was like, whoa, like they were just there. And I was like, whoa. And they were just sitting in the fucking dark. And I was like, whoa, like, wow. And then everybody they applauded like, hey. And I was like, hey, I waved. And I was like, this is really fucking weird. I got to go. I'll never forget that too. They were cooking and it started getting dark on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And they came and got me and they said, you have to hurry. The food's going to burn. I had to go.
You had to finish.
Run, and I had to run over there, right? And the lights were on already, so because they had left them on or whatever. And I had to take the food, finish the cooking and take everything out and finish everything and get it out. And then because they couldn't touch the stove to shut it, they couldn't open it, they couldn't shut the stove off. So I had to do all that. And he didn't even invite me to eat though. Like at least give me a plate, bro.
Right.
And he asked me, "Can you come back in 45 minutes to an hour to shut the lights?" So I had to go home and come back and shut everything off. But he never. I didn't think about that till just now. He never offered me food or anything. Why?
Of course you thought of it now, you fat piece of shit.
Like, why not offer me a latke or something, whatever they got over there, like a potato pancake, like matzo soup or something.
At least a matzo ball to take home, like the old lady in
nothing.
In The Wedding Singer gave him meatballs to take with him.
So now the best part about all this, there was one of the Hasidics. The rabbi was little. He actually. This is really funny, and you'll only get this, and not many other people will. So the rabbi was very short, like the head rabbi. He was like maybe 4 foot, 8 or something. He was basically a midget.
That's like borderline dwarf, isn't it?
Right. I got the app.
Thank you for your patience. I do appreciate it.
Faith, it is perfectly okay.
I know. I'm looking at Chick-fil-A too, so it's a struggle for me right now.
It's all good.
Appreciate it.
You're the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
You too. She said she works at Chick-fil-A too. Ooh, rough. Anyway, I almost hit a car in my new car. So anyway, the rabbi, the main guy, he was very little, but he looked like Ron Nimi. Like when no, I'm not even kidding you. When I started wrestling in '99, I didn't meet Ron until 2001, and when I met Ron, the first thing I remember coming back home and telling my dad, I just wrestled for this guy in Tampa who looks like the rabbi. Like their facial features were the same. They were both little guys, and it was like the same guy, but one was a Hasidic and one was not. Anyway.
So it was just more fuzzier. One was fuzzier than the other.
Right.
Yeah.
Big beard, the whole shebang. But the rabbi's right-hand man, I think his name was Yoshi, if I remember. Yoshi or Yoshi. He was 6'7". Gigantic. That was his man. Like when Rabbi was walking home on Saturday from the synagogue around the corner, Yoshi was literally next to him. So it was like twins, like Danny DeVito and Arnold.
I wish he had one of those like Baby Bjorn things and he in the
right.
In the, what was that movie called? Where they found the baby and he was walking around with it in his front. The Hangover.
Hangover, right. Yeah. So this guy was 6'7", but the best part about this guy was this: every night when it got dark, it would be late, 10, 11 o'clock at night. We used to sit outside, all the kids, and hang out in front of my house. You would just hear coming down the block, like humming. And here he would come, 6'7", on old school roller skates, just skating down the fuck. And I'm talking like flying, but like leisurely flying, because his legs were long. So like, and I'm doing the motions here because he would like, his legs would just glide, and he would just hum some like Hasidic Jewish song. Like he would just be humming like some song, and it was every single night he would do this. Go, you sound like you got something to say. There's probably a lot of questions here.
That's quite a picture. If you were to see that, like in today's age, you would stop the car and take a picture.
Like full. I'm talking full.
He's like
gear.
You're like starting to like I'm afraid if you describe a couple more people, they're gonna have like Adam's Family equivalents. Like we've got Lurch, and we've got obviously we've got the rabbi. We'll make him
right.
Gomez. So.
Well, and so he would hum like, and I'm talking, it's late at night, and our neighborhood was cool, but he was humming so loud, like everybody could hear him coming down the block. I don't know, it was some song he would hum, and he would pass by every time, and he would always wave and be like, "Hey guys!" like happy as shit. And yeah, Yoshi was he was the man, and it's funny because when Paula said this about going to the Jewish school, it made me think about all this, and I was like, what a childhood that was. Like, I mean, anybody who's from South Florida, I mean, it was, the Jewish population is huge, and it's like, I don't know, for me, it was all normal, like if you came here to Georgia and somebody did that, they'd probably be like, what the fuck is that?
Right.
Right. And it's funny because when I moved to the South, like not to the South area, there's two things that people didn't know here. And it was my ignorance, because coming from South Florida, which is a melting pot, somebody once said to me, I said something about a Haitian, and they said, "What's a Haitian?"
Wow, really?
And I said, "What?" And she's like, "What's a Haitian?" I said, Haiti is a country? And she was like, "I've never heard of that." Dead serious. She's like, "I've never heard of it. I've never seen a Haitian." Like, no clue. This poor little redneck white girl had no idea what a Haitian was.
That's very.
And two,
that's
right.
I can't even wrap my head around that because there's so many here.
I couldn't. I was like, "Wait, what? Like, are you joking?" She's like, "No, I'm serious." Like, and two was.
Did I ever tell you my sort of Haitian story that when Jackie and I used to do autographs, way back in the day, 20 years ago now, and we'd be on the road, and a lot of them drove cabs. So what he would do is he would pull up and he'd see a cab with a Haitian in it. He'd get their attention, and apparently this is the only thing he knew in Creole was he would point.
Wait. Was it Massa Say or something like that?
He would point at me and go, "Masisi," and the guy would just start laughing, and because it means I guess
know what it is.
It means I guess it's gay or actually not gay. It means faggot. It's the derogatory version. Right.
Yeah.
So he would every time he would go Masisi. So that's the only Creole I know because I wasn't. Right. I was part of a rib of it for years. And years.
I only know that because I go into school. I grew up with a lot of Haitians, and they would always like be like, "Oh, he's Masasi," and then like they let you in on the joke, and then it was funny. But it wasn't funny when they were like, at first I was like, "I don't know what you're saying," and they were like, "Oh no, he's gay or whatever," and I'm like, "Oh," and then the other thing was I think it was "ça passe," and then the other person would say "na boule," and I'm like, "What does that mean?" I never understood what it meant, but I always remember them saying that. Because a lot of my friends were Haitian, but the other thing here was Jews. They didn't know what a Jewish person was. And now that I think about it, I've lived in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. I have not seen one synagogue or Hasidic anywhere here. Now Atlanta may have some in the city, but
They've got to.
here we got nothing, man.
Yeah.
We got nothing. And I have not seen a synagogue at all. Like it's not. And there's a third thing that I've not seen in the South. And this is Jehovah's Witnesses. They like don't exist here. I don't get it.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like Jehovah's Witnesses are a little like kind of clustered, maybe.
But I think South Florida, we have a melting pot of people.
Yeah.
So like I've seen it all, and I mean,
like it's funny. Like
you tell people they don't know.
Like I guess you wouldn't. I mean, you wouldn't see. Like maybe you don't see synagogues, but you wouldn't see. I don't think you would see Hasidics out like in the rural areas of Georgia. You're kind of confusing them with the Amish. You know what I mean? And granted, there are some similarities, but you know, one's a little more for the city folk, and the others,
right. But anyway, I'll never forget like that time of my life. But here's the this is the best part about the story. So I told you this kind of a little bit the other day. So when we all used to hang out, and the kids, you know, their kids were our age, so it was like, you know, we were all friends. We all hung out. We played Manhunt when they were allowed to. Like they were allowed to hang out with us and stuff. You know, everybody was cool. But when they started boxing, right? Mm-hmm. So the Hasidic kids bought boxing gloves, and they started boxing. Well, they would like talk so much shit. Like they were talking shit all the time. Like, you know, and it's funny because you think like these are religious people. They smoked weed. They drank. Like these kids were fucking animals, man. They were animals, and they were boxing. So they kept taunting. And I don't box. I never boxed a day in my life. And finally, I was like, fine, let's go. You want to go? Let's go. I was like, we'll box. And they were like training to box. So like they were literally training like every day to box, and in full Hasidic gear. So we're in my front yard, and I had just gotten home from school, and they're like talking shit, like they were waiting for me, right? Because they didn't go to school like we did. They went to like their own little gimmick,
homeschool,
right?
Or whatever.
Whatever, yeah, right. So I get home, and they're waiting for me in my yard with the gloves, and they're like, "Let's go," you know, call me all kinds of names, pussy, this and that, right? These Hasidic kids are ruthless. So I put on the gloves. I have no idea what I'm doing. And I'm like, all right, let's go. And the one kid who talked the most shit, are you there still?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's like, you know, we're going, and we start, and I hit him with like a 2-jab, I was like a jab, and I hit him with one more, and he goes down. Like, the start of the fight. And he's crying. And he's like, you really hit me? I was like, what? I was like, you've been talking shit for like a year. I'm like, you're waiting for me at my house with the gloves on. You want to fight. And I hit you 3 times, and that's it. He's like, my nose. I mean, I fucking clocked him 3 times. Like, it was like a boom, boom, boom. Like, and he went right down. He just folded. And his buddy was like, what are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean, what am I doing? Like, now I feel bad because, like, and, I knocked him out, and that was, I never saw them box again. They never boxed at their house, my house, never. They stopped training. That was the end of it. He got 3-punch knockout, and now the one that was his friend, the one that boxed me, I don't know where he is. Now the friend, he's the one that's on TikTok, the big TikToker. So, which I realized this the other day. He knows I have TikTok because him and my brother, they both live, you know, they lived in my brother lives in New York, my brother lives in New Jersey now, but they like talk a lot because they live, you know, they grew up together, and now they live in the same town basically. So my brother was like, this is like this summer, you know, hey, Tomer is his name. Tomer has a TikTok, and he got, you know, X amount of followers and this and that. So I go follow him. Me and Tomer text back and forth about we're going to do some collab. I realized the other day that motherfucker doesn't follow me.
Oh.
He doesn't follow me.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. He's got too much clout, apparently.
Yeah.
So,
well, how many
Tomer.
followers does he have?
I think they're at 500,000.
Would you let him bar mitzvah you for 200,000?
I'll box him again. Fucking assholes.
How many followers would you need for circumcision?
No, listen. First of all, I'm snipped, pal.
All right. Well, take another 10% off the top.
Can't do that. Then I'd almost be a woman then.
Oh.
Just kidding.
No, don't want to shave too much off the mushroom, the truffle.
Right. So
that's funny because I told you, but I'll say it again here. When you were telling me about how the kids in the neighborhood were all boxing and then challenged you to a fight, I told you about this friend that we had, this kid Heath. He had like a couple of brothers, and they were kind of like they lived out in like kind of like the little plantation area out by 441, like by Broward and all that. So it's a little a little rough. And his dad was kind of like a nut, and he was he was training them in like all kinds of like combat stuff, like martial arts and nunchucks and shit like that, to the point where they would sometimes be coming home like during the day or at night or whatever, and his dad would like jump out of a tree and declare the circle of death, and they would all have to fight.
What?
They called it the circle of death, and they would have to. It was like, it's kind of like if you ever saw the original Pink Panther. Kato would just jump out of nowhere and attack the detective, and it was to keep him sharp and so he'd be like ready for anything and whatever, and they'd have a sparring fight and whatever. So this was a little bit like that, where his dad would just ambush them out of nowhere sometimes and challenge them to the circle of death, and they had like this area in their front yard, and they would like fight. I mean, sometimes he would come, he worked with us at the comic book store, which was like just down the road, and he would come in sometimes and he'd have a shiner or like scratches or something, and we'd be like, what, circle of death again? He'd be like, yep.
What the fuck?
I'll tell you, man. But this was like late 80s, early 90s, so I mean, probably late 80s. So the good old days, the 80s, man. What a decade that was. Holy shit. You just had like fucking I mean, I never met his dad, but I picture like a chain smoking, kind of like shell shock Vietnam vet that still like wears like,
that's the vision that, like, when you said it, that's the visual I got.
Like, that just wears those olive green kind of shirts, like he's still kind of back from the Nam, Right. I don't know.
No, that's what I think. Like, yeah, like cigarettes like half hanging out of his mouth.
Yeah, I mean, they would knock the shit out of each other. So it was pretty crazy. And that's all I thought of when you were talking about this. Your whole Jewish.
These Hasidics were. I mean, let me tell. They smoked, drank, like, I mean, they were partiers, man. They party.
Yeah.
Which you don't think, you don't think they would be partiers, but they're partiers.
Well, so. I mean, it's their parents that are like the strict ones. You know how it is. Right. Like Catholic schoolgirls. It's like the stricter you are, the crazier they want to be. Right. The more you tell someone to no, the more they want to do something. So until they grow up and hit like college or whatever,
Yeah, but these two are like, they're like practicing still, and they still live in Brooklyn, and like, and they're still like, and I see this week they were in Mexico. I was like, these motherfuckers, like, yeah, they're animals.
They probably went to a donkey show.
And I couldn't party with them. They would probably party me under the table.
True, but you could still outbox them.
Well, you know that. That's all I got. But yeah, so I don't know why it made me think of that's a good story to tell, I thought, and that was my Hasidic story of the day.
It's a good visual because I could picture like all the kids with their white shirts with the little frilly things.
Yes.
And the black slacks and the little curly cues hanging down in front of their ears. And maybe they're wearing hats, maybe they're not. Maybe they just have the little yarmulkes that are like hairpin to their.
I was gonna say, I clocked him 3 times. That yarmulke never came off. It stayed put.
Listen, above all, you got to respect God, even if you're going unconscious.
Right. Hey, I've been to a couple bar mitzvahs in my time, and I always put the yarmulke on.
Yeah.
And they hand it to you when you walk in. Respect.
Yeah, no harm. Yeah. You forget it's on. You know what it is? Yeah. It's like if you don't regularly wear one, when you put it on, you're aware of it the whole time, and you keep like reaching because you keep thinking it's falling off.
It does feel like that.
Right?
It really does. I saved them all from like all my friends' bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs.
Yeah,
I saved them all.
because sometimes they would get like fucking, the rich ones, the rich families would make like, kind of custom vanity ones,
My friend was a WWF fan, and he had like WWF ones made. Yeah. I don't know where they are. My dad probably sold them or something.
Did we talked about this on the podcast about my bar mitzvah?
We did talk about it.
Yeah, my mom.
Yeah.
Oh
man, wish I was around for that.
if I'm at next time I'm at my dad's place because he still has those big photos. I'll take a picture of it and send it to you. As long as I can get a guarantee that will not see circulation.
I cannot guarantee that.
Well, then I can't send it to you.
Oh, come on!
I'll have to wait till like we're in person, and I'll show it to you on my phone.
I'm gonna have to reach out to your brother.
That would work. That would work. And you could get it tonight because he still lives with my dad.
Does he really?
Yes.
I'll never forget the time I saw your brother eating at Johnny Vandal's restaurant, and I totally didn't even say hi to your brother.
Oh, but you knew it was him.
100% was him.
You know? How rude is that?
Right. He was with a woman. I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, yeah. He
was eating at Lindbergh's.
Yeah.
Wow.
He told.
And I think I called you that night, and I told you that, and you asked him, and he was like, "Yeah, I was there." And I totally know. So I acted like I didn't know who he was.
Yeah, he said he ate there a lot because it was. I think the tutoring place he works for was right there.
In the shopping center.
Yeah. So he said
Did he know that it was Johnny Vandal's restaurant? Because he knew Johnny, right? I would imagine.
I think so, because I think I bumped into Johnny at one time.
Right.
And he said, "Oh yeah, I've seen your brother. I ran into your brother there once or something." I think.
Right. Probably. I figured he would have known him. Yeah. For sure.
It's a small world.
That's my my Hasidic Jewish story of the day.
So maybe my brother won't send you a photo if he.
Well, this is like a Larry David.
If he remembers like that you pretended you didn't know him, you big timed him.
I'm gonna reach out to him and he's gonna be like, "Remember the time at Lindbergh's where you no-sold me?"
Yeah,
get your own picture, pal.
It's like, listen, I'm here with a woman. You come over. You make me look important. You make it like you're very excited to see me. You put me over. You tell her she's a very lucky lady for knowing me, and you fucking carry on.
That could have been the trajectory. Like he could have, at that moment, if I put him over, he may not be living with your dad anymore. I could have ruined the whole thing. I could have changed the course of history.
Well, I'm trying to remember when that was, because you got to understand he did get married and move out. Right, but then he got divorced. Right,
he got divorced to move back in. Right.
Oh shit.
Probably his wife at the time.
That's again. We would have to do the.
Or it was during the day and he was working and it was not his wife, and that's probably what got him divorced in the first place.
If he was if it was like during work, it would probably be someone he works with or something like that.
Well, that's what we all say.
Although, okay,
deny.
I got a good story. So I was at Shinju once with somebody, I don't remember who, and my brother pops in with this really hot chick, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I work with her over at the tutoring place, et cetera, yada yada." And I talked to him later. I'm like, you notice she was like dressed professionally, but she had like those like legs sticking out that were all muscle and whatever. And so
way out of your brother's league.
She was Yeah, I thought. I was like asking. I was asking for a friend. You know what I mean? And so. Like a week or two later, I like, "Oh, what happened with that?" And he's like, "Oh, we went out like another time, kind of like friend stuff, and then that was it." And then like a year later, he's like, "You remember that girl so and so?" I go, "Yeah." He's like, "She does porn now."
What? Oh my god! What a turnaround!
Yeah.
From a tutor to a porn star.
She got into porn and she did some. And let's just say that my brothers, and if I'm well versed in porn, my brother is like like a
Right.
10th level ninja. He's an aficionado. And so he like met her again. Like he bumped into her or something. He was talking and he was like, she was telling him about it. And he's like, he just starts going through all the things you need to do and blah, blah, blah. She's like, oh my God, I should have called you ages ago on how to go about doing this career.
As if your brother was some like agent, like porn agent.
He probably could have shot her right to the moon, you know?
Oh my God.
So, but I've run across her in my perusings on the internet, just randomly on the, like the Pornhub and all that. So, yeah, it's crazy.
Well, what's her name?
I think it's Lena Sky.
I've got some research to do tonight.
Yeah, you do. She has like the milfy mom stuff, you know?
Oh, I love that. It's right up my alley.
Let's just say she's up for anything.
Yeah.
She's in the Trina Michaels vein of adult world.
Oh God! Wow, what a name right there.
Right. She was always very nice to me.
Always nice to me. Right.
Nice.
Right. And I'll tell you this. That I know we were going 45-minute mark here, but I'll end it with this. Since we're talking about porn stars, I met Jasmine St. Clair, who was married to the Blue Meanie at the time at a wrestling show. She was a porn star, wrestler, ECW.
She was She was a really big name at that time.
Right, and she was, a wrestler too, and wrestling with her husband was a wrestler, and we were in Tampa, and she was going around introducing herself to everybody, and I was respectful, and I said, "Nice to meet you," and "Nice to meet you."
Is that her? Does she introduce herself as Jasmine, or does she have like a?
She did. A
civilian name.
Jasmine, yeah. Okay. And Blue Meanie was there, and he introduced himself as Meanie. And, we go around the horn, and she goes around, and the guy next to me, I don't know what made him say this. It almost like it just came out. She shook her hand, and he goes, "Oh, we've met before." And she's like, "Have we?" He's like, "I jerk off to you." And it just came out. And it was like an awkward silence, and she's like, "Oh, okay." Like, even as a porn star, she was taken back by that this happened, like that's just really happened.
It's funny because like usually nothing phases them. They've heard it all,
What phased her? Because she was like and he turned like 8 shades of red, and he was like, "Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed." She's like, "It's okay." And now it was like weird, and she walked away, and we're like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "I don't even know. It just came out. Like, it just came out." He's like, "I don't even know why." Like,
I mean, but that's the idea. Like,
right.
She was doing her job well.
Right. That's just funny that a porn star that gets hammered was appalled by him saying that. Like,
right.
She was like, "What?"
Yeah, I think she just
I was like, "Lady, I've seen you take 2 penises at the same time. Come on, we're offended by this." Like
2? That's like that's a light morning.
Right.
What are you talking about?
Right. So, anyway, I'll save the rest of my stories for Friday. Give people a little cliffhanger here. Just a little cliffhanger. I got a really good story about my son that I think it needs to be told on public air, and he has no idea that I'm going to tell this.
Oh, are we about
We'll do that. We'll do that for Friday's podcast.
Are we about to lay bare and Nick the Dick for the world?
He deserves it.
I do not doubt it.
Yeah. So we'll save that for Friday.
By the way, the more and more I think about your New Jersey option for him, I'm more and more for that.
Well, we've got 3 options now.
What's that?
New Jersey, Charlotte, North Carolina, or back to Florida. I don't know.
But I mean, is that with you, or are you shipping them off?
I'm at the point in my life where I think, like, I love my house, and I don't really love where I live. I love my house, but I'm at the point that, like, I don't know. Like, is my job is important, obviously. It pays me, but I don't know. I think I'm ready to become like some sort of like traveler. Maybe I'll come back to Florida. You may be stuck with me again, pal.
Listen, you and Paul Jones making the triumphant returns to Florida.
Oh, wouldn't that be something?
It would be something.
Did you just fart? You farted.
Yeah, I did, but it was so.
We got to end this podcast.
It was so far away from the microphone. I'm surprised it got picked up.
That was like a gremlin in the house. I thought Paula's daughter was there.
No, I thought the dog heard something. He started growling.
Well, I got to go back into this gym now. See if I'm allowed back in. The big no re-entry sign. I should take a picture with it.
I feel like we should hang on here and find out.
Oh, let's see. And I gotta pee really bad though, so let's see what happens here. The doors are locked. They locked me out. So, where's the bathroom? Thanks, man. See that? That's called clout, my friend.
Oh my lord! Here we go.
He gave me the pound. He pounded me.
Wait, this is the guy that tried to flex on you before?
Yeah, I won.
Now you're buddies. You didn't even have to get on coffee.
No, fuck him.
So you definitely won because you're cheap.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna pee. So.
All right, go pee,
Fatso.
Fatso.
I'd rather not pee on air.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Too late. I'm peeing.
Oh boy.
All right.
Bye.
Goodbye.